What's the weirdest place you've ever met somebody to make a deal on car parts? Or not necessarily what's your weirdest experience in a car part trade or purchase? Let me know in the comments. This is a first for me. Honestly, it should weird me out more than it does, but for some reason it doesn't bother me as much as I think it would bother other people.
I'd say it's a nut job.
Nobody's gonna believe this shit.
Nobody gonna believe.
They're just a Fox body Mustang underneath.
Yeah. Other shit can wait.
No kidding. But he's got some other cool stuff. Something I think you guys will be interested in seeing. Check this out.
Yeah, I was actually gonna, I know we had a couple families come in. I was gonna look at the book this morning and kind of see, you got anything interesting?
That is.
Well, we just have mahogany right now. Remember, we put a couple of those Crager in there, so. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Thanks, bud.
I gotta admit, funeral homes don't really bother me that much, but that may have been a first for me. You know what I mean? All right, so let's take a look at our wheels now, see what they look like, and let's put some effort into cleaning them up a little bit. So these are the new to me Crager wheels. Now, if anybody knows me personally, my absolute favorite wheel, I will go bananas over a set of Crager wheels. I absolutely love them. These have some just some little crusty spots on them. They're not perfect. They do need to be cleaned up. This may be the worst one. Let's go crusty right through there. I think we can clean them up. I'm missing one of the Crager SS caps. I'm missing one cap. Want to dig around and see if I can find a single cap. But the catch is, I wouldn't want a new cap. Like if I found an NOS cap or something, that wouldn't be what I was after. I want something that's been around so they match the wheels, you know what I mean? If you happen to have something like that, drop it in the comments and let me know. But this is going to be about cleaning these up, and we'll talk about them as we go and what I do and how I do it. But I really do think these wheels will clean up nicely. And I think they're going to work perfect on, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to put them on. I think they're going to work perfect on a project just because they look the part. I am of the mindset that if you're going to have a classic vehicle that, you know, you're not putting a bunch of money into paint and stuff like that. You just want something you can drive. Or if you slap a brand new wheel on it, it's kind of like hanging a diamond necklace off a goat. You know, it doesn't exactly fit. The wheels need to be aged appropriately to match the car or the truck or whatever. And I think these are going to serve that purpose well. So the first thing that I do is I get me a box of these 4/0 steel wools, but I want the ones that have the soap in them. Gives it a little something, keeps it from scratching stuff up. And you can get a box of these at the Dollar General for $1 for a whole box. And check it out, lemon scented, so your wheels will smell good when you're done. Because that's I mean, on a priority list, that's got to be close to the top of the page, is wheels smell good. So the first thing I do is take an old dirty rag and I just run a little soapy water over the whole wheel so the wheel's wet. I want a good wet surface. Got my pad good and wet, and then I just come in here and start working on those crusty spots. I'll go ahead and go around the whole wheel, just spin a minute on those crusty spots. This will get all the goop and gum off of here. By the way, I hate it when the tire shops put the weights on the outsides. Am I the only one? Let me know. Let me know what you think. I mean, do you like your weights inside or outside the tire? Do you even notice that kind of stuff? Get in here. Get all this rubbed down real good. You don't want to leave no spots. All kind of rubbed down. Rub on those rusty places that you see. Again, we're not expecting it to take all the rust off. What it'll do is take the staining off. And I'm not really pressing on this either. I'm letting the steel wool do its job. Just rub it on it like you'd rub on it with a rag. Around it real good. All right. Our old wet rag back out. Give her a little soapy bath here. Put it down real good. Any residue? All right. Rinse it off. Yes, it's wet, but doesn't that look good? Now I'm gonna take a towel and dry this down real good so it doesn't spot up. And then we're gonna rub it with a little bit of polish. And we're gonna compare wheel to wheel. You can already see a big difference. All right, I'm gonna come through here with a towel, a dry towel. Just rub this thing down. All the big blobs of water off of it. Good and dry. Ain't worried about the tire, just the rim. Out here in the sunshine, it won't take it long till she will have dried off real nice. Real nice, I tell you. And again, I ain't worried about the tire. All right, so I've dried the wheel. Wasn't worried about the tire, but I've dried the wheel off pretty good. Here's a wheel I haven't touched. Here's one, all I've done is the SOS stuff. And you can see if you get in here, I mean, it didn't get rid of all of it, but it cleaned up the staining so that it's not as noticeable. And all the staining is really gone. A lot of the rusty itself come off. But when you look at a wheel like this, a lot of this is just staining. It's not actual rust. When you get it cleaned up, it ends up looking like this. And I'm okay with that. Really need to find a center cap for that. So I'm gonna let this one dry in the sun for a few more minutes while I start on the next one. And then once I get all 4 of these done, we'll come back, we'll take a look at all 4 of them, and then I'm gonna show you the polish I use, and we'll polish one up and compare them in stages and let you see what they look like. I think that these are kind of going to be some nice wheels, especially nice enough for what I'm planning on doing. Okay, wheel number 2 has been washed, not polished, washed. It was the worst wheel out of the bunch. It's the one that had what looked like rust all the way around it. And real quick, what causes situations like that to happen is when a car sits for a long time and they get, whether it be water from rain or whatever, or a dog pissing on them, it doesn't matter. They get a puddle in the little lip, and that puddle of water just sits there or whatever, and it causes rust. But considering this was the worst one out of the bunch and it was rusty almost all the way around, all we have left is the actual rusty spot here and speckles right through here. The rest of the wheel cleaned up extremely well. So when we polish this wheel out, it's even gone over here. It's really just right here. So once we polish this wheel out, it should look real well. Still waiting. This one's almost dry now. So got 2 of them done. I'm gonna get the rest of them cleaned up, and then I'm gonna start polishing on them, and we'll see what we got when we get done. Okay, in efforts not to make this video 17 hours long, the first wheel is completely dry. The second one's close to dry. I've started on the third one, but I'm gonna circle back and start polishing on the first one so you can see exactly what I use and how I use it. I've been using the same stuff forever. I don't know how long the stuff's been around, but I swear I was using it on my first car. That's the Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. I don't know how long this stuff's been around, honestly, but I can't remember a time when I didn't use it. I don't know if there's better products out there, but I know this stuff right here has always done a phenomenal job. So that's what I use. All right, I'm gonna prop it up here on the other wheel. Get me a little dab of this. Just gonna dab some on my rag, and I'm gonna pick a spot to start. Doesn't matter where you start, but I like to do small sections at a time. I'm gonna do this whole little section right here. I like to rub it. You know, there's probably instructions on the jar that tell you the right way to do this. I've been doing it since I was a kid this way. I rub it till it starts to get black. I'll come back and start wiping it off. Getting clean little sections at a time. And honestly, if you do this and you keep it up, like you on your old hot rod or whatever, you come out and do this every so often when you wash the car and you polish your wheels and stuff, These things will never rust. Water just beads off of them. You don't have to worry about them. They're always looking tidy. I love this stuff. Moral of the story here. There's always a moral, right? Moral of the story here is do not be afraid to take somebody else's junk. Now, I understand why he didn't use these wheels. He's restoring a car, and these are not restoration quality wheels. These wheels are kind of rough, but that doesn't mean they don't have any useful value to them. To me, these wheels are very usable and very savable. You can take a wheel that looks like this, and with just a little elbow grease, turn it in to a wheel that looks like this. Got to get that center cap. They're still pitted. They still have some residue on them. Apparently they still have a little wax on them right there too, where I'm still rubbing on them a little bit. But look at this wheel right here compared to the wheel I started with. This wheel, the wheel I started with, in comparison to that wheel, there's a major difference. Now, like I said, I completely understand why he didn't use these wheels. These wheels would not work for what he was doing. I am a Crager wheel guy, and for what he was doing, these were not the wheel that he needed for his project. Quite honestly, he needed factory steel wheels and factory hubcaps and all that. Because let's face it, if you're doing a restoration, and when I mean a real restoration, I'm talking paint, motor, interior, wheels, tires, you don't want to slap on a set of crusty wheels on your restored car. That is about as bad as what I was saying earlier with slapping brand new wheels on your old crusty car. They would stand out too much. It just would not work. But these wheels will work perfect. Do not be afraid to go on Marketplace and find a set of old wheels and put a little elbow grease into them and end up with a set of wheels that will work perfect for your project. I have something in mind for these. You'll just have to wait and see where these wheels end up. These wheels and tires are perfect for something I have in mind. And this is, again, one of those things where you're scrolling through Facebook Marketplace. You don't need anything. It's kind of boredom scrolling. You're sitting there late at night, nothing going on, so you're scrolling around looking, and you get into trouble like this, right? Hey, listen. I appreciate you guys watching these videos. A few things here. I'm trying not to screw up the name. We went to meet a gentleman at the Sosby, I believe is how you would say it, Sosby Mortuary. And we met him and scored these wheels from him. He was actually, or is actually, in the process of restoring a hearse. And those wheels was on the hearse. I mean, let's face it, that's not exactly what you would want on your hearse. So kudos for him for doing it right. But I was very, trying to choose my words here carefully, because the wrong words can sound disrespectful. And I don't mean any disrespect when I say that they have some of the coolest line of stuff there. The motorcycle and carriage that you've seen in there, that thing was wicked awesome to see. I hesitate to say it that way because I know people, when you normally see that, it's not a great occasion to see it on. So I'm trying, I don't want to sound disrespectful in any way by calling it something awesome to see. It was very cool. It was well built. That thing is extremely clean. I understand the purpose of it is not something you would get excited about. So I'm trying to tastefully say how much I liked it. They also have I think it was a 64 hearse in there. Had little fins on the back of a Cadillac hearse and fully restored, super clean and super nice, that they still also use. And of course, then they got their modern stuff too. So they are a full service deal. I never this stuff never entered my mind. I don't think about this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But if you want the classic car service, they've got you covered. If you're a biker and you want the biker service, they've got you covered. I mean, a normal classy service, they've got you covered. You know what I mean? So it's again, it's hard to talk about this stuff, and it. I'm trying not to make anything I say sound disrespectful, but that is a place that has some amazing stuff, and they can give somebody any kind of service that they desire. And that's, I'm trying to think of a better word, but the only thing I can think of to say is that's cool that they offer that kind of stuff. Somebody's going to come at me, and I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. Yes, I understand that if you have to follow that, or if you have to choose one of them, it's not a very cool situation. But as respectfully as I can say, from a car guy standpoint, it was very nice to get to see these things. So I'm going to quit talking about that before I trip over my own tongue here. And say something I shouldn't, and come out sounding disrespectful when I don't mean to be. I am grateful that he was willing to hook me up with these wheels, because I'm going to put these wheels to very good use. I got to dig through my pile and see if I've got another center cap. I'm not going to complain about it if I don't, but I'm going to have to dig through my pile and see if I've got another Crager SS center cap. Listen, guys, it's the time of year where I've got a lot going on, and I'm trying to get you some content coming, but I've got a lot of stuff going on, so it's coming in and out. Hang in there with me. Be patient with me. The next video you see, I'm pretty sure will be some kind of engine on an engine run stand running, because I've got 2 engines that need to go home in the next week. They have to, and I'm so far behind on everything. I do everything by myself. I'm a one-man show. I have advertised, I have tried to hire help, and I just can't get anybody that wants to work at the level that I like to work at. So and also, it's not always just, it could be randomly anything. So anybody you find wants to work wants to do kind of one thing, and not one day we may be working on a car, next day we may be hanging insulation, next day we may be building a fence, next day we may be polishing wheels, you know. And it's kind of hard to find somebody that's willing to just do everything. So I am a one-man show. Y'all be patient with me. I am trying to get everything done as quickly as I can, but when you have so much stuff going on at one time, it's difficult. Y'all hang in there. I hope the Lord blesses you more today than He did yesterday. I hope you enjoyed this crazy little venture today. Well, even this simple video has taken me a few days to make, because just no time. So God bless you guys. To Him be the glory. Guys, we'll see you on the next one.
I'd say it's a nut job.